Hello everyone, in this video we'll walk through the VIM tutor, which is the official VIM way to get started with VIM absolutely from scratch. But before we start, I'd like to drop a few essential thoughts in this regards, because many of you could have find yourselves in the situation where you've already accomplished VIM tutor, and the feeling that you have after doing that was something like, well, okay, so now I can do all the things I could have done in my favorite pet text editor, but it's way more complicated and I need to memorize new commands that doesn't make any sense to me or things like that. So essentially just doing exactly the same you've been capable of doing earlier, but in a way more sophisticated way. So that's the usual feeling, and I've been there as well. So I had that sort of confusion back in the day when I've accomplished Vim Tutor for the very first time. But the major problem, as I can see it, it's not the Vim Tutor in particular. So Vim Tutor is totally fine, but you need to exactly understand what is that, and when you do understand it, then the way how you relate to it would also be different and more appropriate. So Vim Tutor is a general guideline which gives an overview. Well, that's essentially that's something that is written within the Vim Tutor itself. But when we are reading through this, we don't really pay that much attention. Don't pay enough attention to get the idea. So the idea is very simple, that all those sections available under the Vim tutor, they may be treated as the contents of the big book, which is called Vim, right? So we can then dive deeply into every single section and learn about the underlying principles, commands, I was going there. And the deeper we go, the better understanding we are getting in return as a result, so that all those commands are no longer that weird. And the more we dive into them, the more we understand the historical reasons, for instance, why things has been done exactly the way they have been done, which probably will be mentioning during walking through the Vim tutor as well. So without having the entire picture of how things are working in Vim and why they work exactly that way they do, it's really hard to get used to it. So again, like Vim is its own world, and without a proper understanding of how it operates, it's really difficult to like accept it. But if you do understand the very underlying principles behind it, which are very simple and in most respects like derived from the UNIX philosophy, like the Modal text editing idea in general, it's like sort of a, in my personal opinion, that's the UNIX philosophy derivation in terms of do one thing and do it well. So modes can split things into reasonable places where to get the work done, and the focus at a single edit as the unit of action when you're working with the text is also vastly different from the just pure insert mode, which most of the GUI text editors are operating under and never leave that mode. So I will try to provide some commentaries during following a Vim tutor, and hopefully that would bring a bit more light and sense to the material presented as well. Because if we don't have these sort of a guideline and try to go to Vim history, try to describe how the commands are working, this is going to be like the easiest, the fastest way to lose ourselves within the lots of options and opportunities available under Vim. So Vim Tutor is really like is a light firelight to show the way, like where to go. And again, those sections can later be used to just dive deeper into those. And that's the exact learning curve that everyone mentions in Vim talks that we have to walk through, but not just walking through the learning curve, but also understanding why this learning curve goes exactly that way. So, well, enough words. I would rather just start walking through the Vim tutor. Well, and hopefully the commentaries, but the way we're supposed to be doing this is going to be sort of helpful to you guys. So,